Well, cool.
Cool.
Isn't that just neato?
Uh-oh.
What's what?
The game crashed.
Oh. On startup?
Well, I mean, it's been in sleep mode for several days.
Oh, I
but
see.
I just
So you
think
came right back to it and just.
I still think it's funny that this game's like, no, you are not allowed to put me in sleep mode. You have to turn me off. You peasant.
Yeah. Dork just died in there.
Do you need me to stream to Discord?
Nope, I'm good. I'll follow along on Twitch like last time.
All right.
Here's my theory. York has fallen into a deep fairy tale esque slumber, and so when you open the game back up, you're gonna have to wake him up by I don't know, feeding him a ton of coffee from your menu.
Oh right, we have to place the alligator. We're like literally in like side story mode.
Oh boy, we've got big challenges.
We do. How's your day?
Is big challenges an alligator? It's okay. Or is big challenges a crocodile? See, we already enough have issues figuring out crocodiles versus alligators, or at least I do.
You do.
But now we have to figure out. Yeah, I do. All at myself here, but I don't know which big challenges is. Big challenge is the Sanrio character. He's an alligator. Okay.
Oh, I didn't fucking know what you were talking about. I was so confused.
I love big challenges.
I thought you just named our alligator.
No. If only. Big Challenge's debut was in 1978, Grant. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Hold on. Okay. Who is your favorite Sanrio character?
I think right now it's Big Challenges. But oh, that's tough. This is a lot of good ones. Just by like for historical purposes, Gudetama is good. There was a period of time where my twin brother and I practically only communicated through the use of like a very limited number of Gudetama images, but all the same, we just use the heck out of them. But I feel like there's other characters I like better. Who do you like?
Choco Cat.
Choco Cat's good.
I love Choco Cat. He's so cute.
Yeah.
I remember I took a what Sanrio character are you, and I got Choco Cat. I'm like, who the fuck is Choco Cat? And then I fell in love with Choco Cat.
Yeah. Now we do have a request from chat to do a kickflip the next possible opportunity.
Hey, that wasn't the first time I've been told to do a kickflip today.
Cool.
One of my students told me to do a kickflip.
Ah, so you did bring in? Did you roll on in the class?
No, I didn't. I just mentioned because some kid was talking about how he does skateboarding, and I'm like, cool, I longboard, and he said, can you do a kickflip? And I tried to explain to him that no, I cannot do a kickflip on a longboard. It is weird that happened twice.
Weird that happened twice.
But then I had to explain that I also probably couldn't do a kickflip on a regular skateboard, so it didn't fucking matter. Melvin, is there any data about this town? This moves so slowly.
Can you update this in options?
Yes, info. I mean, I can skip it. But yeah. I just think it's funny that they're like
slow crawl it. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, I really wish they gave the. What did you call it, Brantley? You mentioned what they call like. Oh, yeah, I got the perfect thing. Well, out with it. Yellow devil storms in town, the worst fear buzzing to life. The killer bees, there's nowhere to hide. Anywho, the town's been suffering from killer bee attacks lately. I tried taking some of the town budget and putting a bounty on the target, so I reckon everyone's too scared to try and exterminate them. So now I ask you, feeling like getting rich? If you can complete this mission, I'll give you the bounty. How's that for some
Melvin, just hire the squirrels. They're bloodthirsty enough.
Zach, that reminds me. Credit cards don't work in this town. It might be a good idea for us to secure some extra cash.
In 2005?
In addition. Well, okay, so sometimes in smaller towns you don't have credit cards that work. Like once again,
I suppose so, yeah.
This game really likes to think that this town is smaller than it is. Like it's a small town, but we grew up in a town about this big.
Right.
Right. In between jellyfish and water buffalo. You know what that means. This is a job for the FBI. You know, I hope one day that I have a killer bee problem so bad that the feds come in. Melvin, I'll do it.
Does that mean that water buffalo is too big for the FBI, or
no? I think he's
comparison to size, right? So
I think he was comparing how many they kill a year.
Ah, okay.
And I think killer bees are somewhere in between water buffalo and. But.
So my question remains: is water buffalo too big for the FBI?
There's a time limit.
Oh my gosh. So is this just like a whisk you away kind of mission, or
no? I just took it.
No, it's just.
That's whack.
This is a Shin Megami Tensei demon hunt.
That's a very good reference, Brantley. I'm glad that you like Shin Megami Tensei.
I do too, despite the fact that I get crushed by those games that have never completed one.
You've also never said anything positive about them.
That's hilarious. I didn't really think about that. I haven't actually like sung their praises, because I do like things about those games. Yeah, I guess just that the stressful or aggressively cruel parts of those games are far more fun to talk about.
Oh, I accidentally clicked on our Twitch stream and it almost killed our entire stream.
Well, it's a good thing it didn't.
All right.
You've got 24 hours to kill all the killer bees before they kill you.
Can I mark it on my map? Oh my god. Okay, so opening your menu continues your
momentum there.
Well, and you can't. But the thing is
you can't steer.
Yeah, you think, oh, it's making it so that like I don't even think like none of my buttons work, but it's like it tries to make it so you can multitask. And you cannot multitask.
Do you use the left stick to go up and down in the menu?
You think those are killer bees? No, they're not.
If they put it on right stick, then that could help you still steer.
Oh, here's the thing. It's on both.
Interesting decision. Okay, we need to roll back. You were going to ask me something before we got onto the topic of killer bees. You were like, "There's a name for something," and then
the sound bits that you make when characters are talking, it's like
oh,
it has a name.
I don't know. There's not like a there's not so much as like a formal name for it. It's probably a name that I borrowed from someone else. Well, now I don't know. Or what do I pulled that from? Yeah, I honestly cannot think of what you're thinking of.
You know what?
Well, if I figure it out, I'll say it. What else?
What's really good about this game is that it very much does not tell you anything about where to go. Because I'm like, oh, I got the killer bees mission. I bet that will tell me where the killer bees are.
No?
So, like, it just says, eliminate 30 killer bees within the time limit. The faster you are, the better you are. But there is no time limit. And there are also no killer bees.
I'm assuming they're just using the day clock as a way to track that.
But there's also not telling me where to go. Maybe I have to go back to Melvin and be like, Melvin, show me the killer bees. Maybe the journal will... No, the answer is no. That's pretty good.
Maybe it's about finding them. Like, you're supposed to stumble on them or something.
Or maybe I talk to Melvin again and he puts me in the killer bee arena.
Yeah, that could be it too, yeah. It could be an opt-in type of thing.
Alright, quick question, Brantley. I know you just learned this. Is York goofy or standard?
Oh no, let me get a good look at him. Kicks with his right leg. And I think it's... I should have paid more attention when you were explaining it to me. Believe it or not, we got into this conversation in the first place because we're talking about Sonic fucking Riders of all things.
What a good game.
Now is it?
No.
Okay. Let me think.
Hey there, Miss.
I'm gonna say that York rides Goofy. Standard.
Standard.
Hey there, Mr.
So goofy is when you kick with your left.
Yeah.
And standard is when you kick with your right.
Somehow my brain got it confused that you would kick with the other foot that you were handed. So like...
Yes. So you're supposed to kick with the foot that you are... Like, I'm right-handed, but I ride goofy, because I kick with my left.
Okay.
But most people, I know that...
So it's not about the foot, it's about which foot per whether or not you're right or left-handed.
No, it's about the foot. Left-handed, kicking with your left is considered goofy, kicking with your right is considered standard.
So no matter what...
Yes.
So I could be right-handed or left-handed. If I use my left leg, I'm
goofy.
Skating goofy?
Yeah. If you kick with your left leg, you're goofy. I do not know.
I don't know whether that's dumb or not.
I mean, it's skate culture.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. It's like, obviously, the way that you use your hands does not determine how you use your legs. But I also think it's odd that then we just pick the left leg as being goofy.
Well, I mean, I mean, you gotta imagine the initial skate culture that coined that term. Like, imagine it's the what do you have to say?
Okay, Patty.
Oh my God, Grant, it's skate hegemony.
Question again.
Oh.
What do you do when you're at home?
We already heard
TV and look up stuff on the internet, I guess.
Where the fuck are these killer bees? It doesn't tell you. You can't.
I think it's supposed to be something like Agent Honor, where it's not marked.
Patty,
You just
what's
have to
that?
stumble across it, and then
Or the water tower.
it's there.
That thing I'm pointing at.
No, but like
Like
it
I said,
says,
what?
you have a
That
time
thing
limit.
right there, Patty.
Just tell me
Then
what
I
it
guess
is.
you'll fail.
Can you look up where the killer bees are? Please?
I will look up this quest. Okay, here we go.
This is
Sorry.
a good game.
List of Sanrio characters, you're gonna have to wait. Here we go. Alright. Deadly Premonition 2. Blessing in Disguise. Killer Bees.
Bryce, who's your favorite Sanrio character? Zach, that question goes out to you too. Just chat in general. Which Sanrio character do you see and be like, trees in the park? And oh, there they are! I see it! Wow, this sucks ass! Oh, Jesus! Run, York!
You gave me flash.
Thanks, Zach. Now tell me, what's your favorite Sanrio character?
Grant, you shouting out, "There they are!" reminded me of Sonic Heroes.
Oh my god, is that...
Eggman's robots!
Oh god, they're still following me!
Well, York does love his cartoons. Time to Looney Tune out of this situation.
That fucking went so far off. Nice.
Do your rubber bullets have a drop to them at all?
No, I don't think this. I mean, so from what I guess is the spread that I have is where the bullet can be. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's not a very tight spread. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the gold medal shooter where she has the giant pellet gun in one hand and her hand in the pocket.
Yeah.
Fucking kicks ass. That's such a good pose.
Mhm.
I know someone on Twitter was like, the kickback from that gun is gonna hit you in the head. And they were like, this woman,
They're at the Olympics.
this woman
Yeah, like
won gold. With the Witcher. Oh yeah, she did have a Witcher amulet, that's right. I think that's the one you're talking about. Agaretsuko is Sanrio, Zach. Yeah. But also those pellet guns don't have a ton of kickback. Apparently they're hella accurate though. I want to shoot one so bad. I looked up the price. I was like, oh man, I can get into like competitive shooting for a pastime. Because, you know, I don't do anything else in my life, which is a lie. I constantly do things. Yeah, they used to do 22 LR and they switched to pellet guns because bullets are expensive and also there's very little difference from what I remember. But they're like apparently hella accurate because they're so big, but they have like no kick. So you just fucking point and shoot. I would love to do that. I fucking love to just, but they're expensive. The guns are pricey. You know what sucks about the Olympics, Brantley? The absolutely detrimental impact they have on the local economy of everywhere they go.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing, like, you love to see it. You love to see, like people doing good, and you love to see these athletes who have trained all their lives doing good. But then you're like, goddamn, the Olympic Committee is full of shitheads.
Yeah, it's odd to the baseline of the idea being, hey, let's get together and let's do a bunch of very, very cool stuff and let's, you know, show that we can push our limits every 4 years and kind of just get together and celebrate that. Is all undergirded by the concept that we should constantly move the location and essentially like kick the legs out of any location that needs to host it.
And like the thing is that in certain areas, in certain like pretty like privileged countries like Tokyo or like even America, it usually isn't terrible, but in a lot of underdeveloped countries it can fuck up so much.
And even places like Tokyo, I know like I follow a Japanese pixel artist who's spoken out against the detrimental impact of the Olympics on the area, and you know, like it sounds pretty bad. So yeah, if that's happening there, then everywhere else is just ravaged.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, but it is fun watching young people reaching their full potential. Like seeing some of the, like there was that recent weightlifter that won gold, and her tyrannical country like hated her for it, and I'm like, hell yeah, kick ass girl.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like that 13-year-old boy winning gold at the skate park. Or did you see the skateboarding is in the fucking Olympics. That's cool as shit, right? But I can't like it because of how bad it is sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can like it, right? You can like things and understand the detrimental impacts.
Right.
I won't pay for the Olympics, but I will appreciate it. Like that one girl that won gold who was like, Tony Hawk like watched a video of her when she was like 14 and was like, man, this girl's going places, and then she won gold and he was there, and I was like, oh man, that's so good. That's so like cool. And
Yeah.
and then Coca-Cola's like, buy our products. I'm like, fuck.
Hmm.
I don't even know if Coke sponsors the Olympics. I know they did at one point. I'm sure they still do. Do you think York knows who Tony Hawk is?
Well, sure. I would say like, and this is like 2005. So
This is like almost peak Tony Hawk popularity.
right. I'll bet you he has played one of the Tony
the
Hawk
fuck?
games once at a relative's house.
There's wolves just hanging out.
Yeah, check it out.
Does York have family?
He's got to.
Oh, I like that I just absolutely stopped
Oh.
immediately.
See that. At least these wolves are a lot less scary than the ones in
Deadly
Deadly
Premonition 1, dude.
where they're just the size of a car.
I've never seen them.
I was so upset that you never really got exposed to them.
Well, because when we played, we skipped all the side quests, so I had very little reason to be out and about.
Yeah, when it's raining and dark and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not a small town. Like, it's a small town, but I want it. Like, the population's gotta be like at least like 12,000.
Mhm.
I like that I don't know which lip is going to launch me 30 feet in the air or stop me on a fucking dive.
Yeah. Well, that's just a little blessing in disguise for you.
The streets in New Orleans were
It's
a
a
mess.
How many times?
it's a
Can we,
mystery.
how many times can we make the
The
joke?
city was built on
Not
stone.
enough.
The
Not
ground was
enough.
soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in.
Is
There were
Michael
also
Phelps still
places
an
where
Olympian, or
large
did he
trees
retire to
were
smoke
pushing
pot?
up parts of the asphalt and the
I mean, he
sidewalk.
should.
Those bumps were dangerous
Like,
even when we
fuck
still
it,
had
he's
a
won
car,
so many
remember?
medals.
But this town
I wanna
was different. The
dig him
streets
for it.
all paved so
I just haven't
clean
heard
that
about
we
him. I
could
know, like,
skate
a lot of
along without
swimming
a care in the
records
world,
were
and there
broken
hardly any
this year.
trash or graffiti to be found anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Citizens truly do control
I don't know
the
why I'm
place.
asking you. You're
But
not
where
really
we
a-
were, it's a good example of
sports
how
guy.
certain people
Green
derive
says he
power
retired.
and
That's what I
positive
thought. Good on
effects as
him.
well.
He should have
Also,
retired.
don't you find that Southern people are remarkably friendly, even to total
Yeah, okay,
strangers?
so
Both here and in New
you
Orleans,
go
I've
ahead.
been amazed at how cordial everyone is.
We've heard
Is it just the
this
way things
conversation.
are down here? You certainly
Just
don't
about
see
Southern
that sort of thing in
hospitality.
New
Let's see
York,
if these will
DC.
launch me.
They never
Nope.
stop to chit chat, especially.
Oh, these trees are ungo-throughable.
Mhm.
Where the fuck is the graveyard? Let's look at the map and then judge based off of the... There's no... There's no... What's the word I'm looking for? Not compass rose. There's the graveyard. That's gotta be it, right? Yeah. There's no, Brantley, help me out. What's it called when you have the list of icons and it tells you what they mean?
A legend?
That's it.
Or a map?
Yeah. There's no legend here. It just wants you to try your dangest to figure it out.
Green coming in with more facts. Michael Phelps won a total of 28 medals, with 23 being gold up until 2016.
Dude, that
That
boy
was
was built for swimming. His wingspan is so long.
Mm-hmm. And yet, every time we have to get into the whole issue of like, oh, check their testosterone levels, let's police that. Somehow, everyone gets their fucking wheel stuck on that. Just let people compete.
Let people
It's
complete.
absurd.
The thing about trans people in sports is that there's the chances of a trans person making it pro is so significantly low because just becoming pro is so significantly low.
Mhm.
Like, who cares, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like the chances of it ever being like a big issue, and I think so. It's like somewhere like 6 years on hormones makes it nearly impossible for it to be a big difference.
Mhm.
But yeah, there are people that are just physically bigger and physically better at competing in sports.
Right. Like, I mean, we already see people who are getting false flags for like, oh, we think you're dosing on testosterone for an advantage. It's just like, no, that's just how their body produces this. And on top of that, they're biologically female. So this was a poor lead in the first place. It's
Yeah.
like, well, if you want to stipulate on how much testosterone a person's allowed to have, then all right, then we just start breaking this down into stratified, limits like weight classes in boxing or something. It's like, if
Yeah.
you really want to be that fine grain about it, then
We've
whatever.
been fine-grained about it in different ways. It's happened in the past.
It's pretty absurd.
It's Joe Rogan's fault.
You know what? I don't know where that's coming from, but I 100% believe you and will double down. Fuck you, Joe Rogan, for fucking up sports.
Joe Rogan is a big proponent of that narrative.
Of separation, yeah.
Because Joe
douche.
Rogan couldn't make it in comedy after he retired from doing
Wait, he was a comedian at one point?
I mean, you can say. I mean, if he's a comedian, I'm a comedian. Lizard head.
God.
He had a really bad like if you ever want. I don't want to believe he has any influence on any dude. His podcast is still like the most listened to podcast, and I know people like that I truly respect that are like, I listen to Joe Rogan. I'm like, how?
Mm-hmm.
And like, here's the thing. I get the appeal of Joe Rogan. I get the appeal of just like have they been dropping these killer bee stingers and I haven't been getting them?
Don't know.
But I get the appeal of why am I not exterminating any of these killer bees?
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, that says 0 out of 30, doesn't it?
It does. You look
interesting.
Up this quest.
I'll investigate further.
It's called Yellow Devils. But like the idea of someone who just like lets people come in and interviews them, I get the appeal of that. But he's so bad at challenging things that it's just like, hey, let's listen to Alex Jones rant for 6 hours and not make any meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
Like H3,
we're already
H3
in a
does better than that. And like I'm not the biggest fan of H3. I don't think they're like problematic. I'm not a fan of them. But it's like if a small time YouTuber, or I guess not small time, but just like a YouTuber. Was this made before Murder Hornets become a thing? It might have been in development before Murder Hornets become a thing, but like killer bees in the South have been a problem before. So, I mean, it could be based on that. But this came out in 2020, like late 2020. So, I don't think it was before Murder Hornets were a thing. I think it was after.
But in any case, just to say that we're in a time where anybody can put their voice out there. Like, it seems flagrantly uncritical to invite on some of the loudest talking heads in the world and put them on your podcast as if you're like giving them the microphone. Like, yeah, they've had the microphone. Like, this is pointless.
Yeah, and like
it's showboating, and it's essentially just pushing mega popular people up higher without any, as you mentioned, no challenge whatsoever. There's
it's not like it's an interview anymore, right? He's not like having people, and like if you had someone come on and they're pitching their shitty movie idea, that's different, right? That's, if it's like, hey, I'm gonna make a Patty just fell from the sky. I love this game. If you're like, hey, this guy's gonna come on and tell us how he's going to put Tom Cruise in a movie and it's gonna make it great, I'd be like, okay, let's do this. UFO bonus.
It's just the Scooby-Doo show. It's like, all right, which celebrity are we gonna toss into this one? Don Knotts? All right.
Poisoned? Oh my goodness.
Okay, I have information that I'm going to speak to you before we get onto another topic. The easiest bee spawn point is that the writers of this tip guide have found is the park between the cemetery and church, as Zach had said. In this park, there are 4 beehives that spawn in the trees on the north side. Run up to the beehives, and the bees will swarm you. Shoot the swarm, then shoot the beehive they came out of. Do this for all 4 beehives, then head away from the hives. Wait a few seconds for them to respawn. Continue this cycling until you reach 30 bees killed. So make sure you're actually shooting the swarms, not just the hives.
I only have 3 antidotes. I like that there's,
yeah.
that there's antidotes in this.
You won't get the bounty for the side quest until you complete a series of hunting quests.
I love this game. I like that it's like, kill the killer bees, not the hives. The killer bees.
Grant, you have to kill 30 of these bees. Then you have to do another quest for wild dogs, and then finally alligators.
Hell yeah.
There's 30 of each of those too.
Green, have you not heard of killer bees, or have they not been around? Like, are you saying that this is the first time you've ever heard? Yeah, I remember the killer bee specials. They were very much sensationalized.
By the way, shout out to Eli McLean, who posted this guide onto hold2reset.com.
Hell,
Credit where credit's due.
hell yes, it's important that people make guides to this game.
Okay, I'm checking back in. Has your counter gone up?
Now I can check.
Have you shot any swarms
5,
since we last
yes,
checked?
5.
Okay.
Does anyone remember when Animal Planet made that dragon documentary?
No.
They made a dragon documentary, and it was supposed to be a mockumentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't say it was a mockumentary, and I was like 6 at the time, or 7, and I was like, hell yeah, Animal Planet discovered dragons. And I thought dragons were real for like the longest time. And they did the same thing with mermaids, but like later, and I remember reading posts.
Grant, dragons are real. They're invading David Buster's.
What?
Have you not seen those commercials?
Patty, you live in a very peaceful
I
town.
Oh,
You sure about that?
it's exactly what I
Not
just said.
good.
It's you're like a dragon, like, and then just like a CGI dragon flies into a Dave and Buster's. As dragons are invading Dave and Buster's, and it's supposedly probably like an ad for
Dave and Buster's.
some kind of event or thing they hold a Dave. But yeah, let me double check this and just make sure that it's not absolutely satire.
I mean, it would make sense. Dave and Buster's. Zach, was it because of the special, Zach? Because god damn it. Dude, if one of my 5th graders came up to me and was like, hey, I'm going to do a project on dragons are real, I'm going to be like, okay, let's do this. Oh my god, bees! Can you imagine that this FBI guy comes into town and you're 10 years old and you're like, yes, I'm going to trail this FBI guy. And he's just like, I gotta shoot killer bees with a dart gun. What time limit? I love that it says time limit, but there is no time limit.
I'm just assuming that there's a scaling value on how long or like how much money you get.
Hey, let's shout something out loud.
I'm afraid that I have no answer yet as to. I think it's a real ad. But this requires me to go look at other ads to confirm, which I hate. but I'll try
Damn it,
it.
I fucked it up. Apparently, wait.
What?
It's a beautiful day, Patty.
Really? Seems kinda normal to me.
Now that you mention it, yes, it is a
Francis
normal
started
day. I
whistling.
just
It's a
felt like
beautiful
saying it.
day.
What? You know, sometimes you really get on my nerves.
They removed the time. They found out removing the mechanism for it broke the game. Is that real, or is is it a gaffe? Is this a joke, a goof?
That melody always gets stuck in my head.
Yes, it's a devilish song, isn't it?
Just be quiet.
Did you hear it, Bradley?
I'm afraid I didn't because I have stream muted.
He whistles. He whistles "Beautiful Day" from the first game, and then they talk about how
Aw.
that song gets stuck in your head, and it's a devilish song.
Oh yeah. Hey, we can start that. Yeah, we can.
We can
We will carry on that legend.
of that they had to remove the time limit. I mean, we could also say they just removed a bunch of stuff because it broke the game. One of my favorite things is in Fallout New Vegas, there are ladders, and they were supposed to be used as actual ladders, but whenever a character climbed on the ladder, the game would crash. So they removed the ladders, and they turned them into doors that just teleported you to where the top of the ladder will be. I'm pretty sure you told me that one.
I'm sorry, I entirely spaced because I did discover that yes, the Dave and Buster's Dragon ad that I was talking about does in fact exist.
That's great. But the ladder thing in Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Was it? Yeah, I think it was in. If it's not in New Vegas, it's in one of those Bethesda engine games. Like it's in that gamut. Like essentially, trying to climb ladders would cause problems like crashing, and so it's like, well, oh, I saw Patty fall from the sky there. I think she warped up on top of one of these.
The mausoleums.
Yeah, and slid down. But you're like, well, if climbing the ladder is causing problems, we'll just warp you up to the top. We'll just black out the screen.
Fallout New Vegas is the perfect example of a game that stretched an engine to its absolute limit.
Here's another one. In Fallout 3, they have they have metro cars you can take.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
That's
it's a hat, right?
It's not a hat, but it is a replacement for your hand. So they just put that on your hand, and then they make you run.
I thought it was an NPC with a hat. A head.
No. I looked it up again because I taught this in a lecture.
Hell yeah.
And it's a hand. Yeah, it's hilarious. Borderlands 1 also doesn't have any ladders in the game. I don't think it's necessarily that it would having them would crash the game or anything, but are you saying Reddit lied to me? No, just that Reddit perhaps got some misinformation or through a game of telephone things are misconstrued. Because if you look at the image of it, it looks like it's replacing the head, just the way that you see it in the editor or whatever. But I can go investigate it right now and come back because I still have the article on hand.
Bethesda-gate
it. Let's open this up. I'm gonna have to look at this content again soon enough anyways.
Oh yeah, when do you start teaching again?
Not this week, not the next week, not the week after that, the week after that one.
God, you go back to school late. I also go to school early, so I'm no different. Well, I am incredibly different.
You can almost say we have different DNA.
Oh, yeah, I mean, technically speaking, our DNA is incredibly similar, because as far as I know, we are both Homo sapiens. And we are very, very similar in the DNA structure that makes us who we are.
Actually, Grant, I'm Ace, but,
Fuck off, really? Today, one of my students asked me where
Wait,
humans
just you do
came
you.
from.
Yeah.
That's just a fun question. They're like, I heard humans originated in the sea, and it's like, well, like, yeah, but everything did.
You should have told them humans originated from mom.
No, because then I'd have to do that talk.
Oh, that's true.
I don't want to do
That
that.
happens in like 5th grade.
Yes,
Just
I
give
know
it a
it
little
does.
early.
I
Here we
had
go.
Hey,
oh. You literally cannot stop it. I'm gonna get on my thing. My skateboard. You remember the episode of Rocket Power where they started a skateboard repair shop, and the boy skate Rocket Power stole the money and bought a longboard.
Wow. Huh. Sounds like that's a thing, all right. I never watched Rocket Power. It's weirded me out. Also, I didn't start watching Nickelodeon until far later in my life.
All right,
It was
Rocket
a
Power.
Disney kid.
Rocket Power is I should have mentioned the crab cycle. The crab cycle is interesting. Like, I know it's like a meme, but it is really interesting because as far as I know, most things, like, it implies, the cool thing about the crab cycle is it implies that evolution has at least some sort of linearity, on Earth at least. It's not like perfect, but it implies that we might be able to like predict what specific like animals would look like on different planets.
Okay, so here we go. Phil Savage wrote an article. Here's what's really powering Fallout 3's Metro Train. This is from PC Gamer. Originally, the whole thing came up from it originated through 4chan, as far as we know, where they said, hey, in Fallout 3 Broken Steel, the presidential metro car is a hat worn by an NPC who would run beneath the level. But with actual tinkering in the GEC editor for Fallout 3, it is in fact an arm piece. And so if you look at the NPC, their hand is missing and their head is still, on and everything. And it is plain to see from there. Let's see, I can paste in the article.
Hotel fee? What?
What?
The game just took $158 out of my wallet to pay for my hotel. What if
I guess you've got a time limit in that sense.
What if I can't pay off the hotel fee?
Game over?
I hope not. Zach, so technically humans and monkeys have a similar common ancestor, but we are not closely related to monkeys. We come from primates. They're different. Different, Zach. You fool.
Let's see.
Hey there, Mr. York.
Whoa! Did you
Let's
go
see.
and...
Post links. Yes, we can. Gonna see firsthand whether or not I blocked that.
No, you didn't, Zach. Shut up.
I was about to say, oh yeah, it's cool. Clearly, Grant and I have different ways of.
No, that's really fucking cool, Zach.
Hey there, Mr.
Congrats.
Melvin, you still haven't given me the bounty yet.
Yeah, because you have to do the other two.
Yep, I gotta go kill
30 wolves.
I can't.
And once again, the deadly premonition grind begins. Put the case on hold.
Man, it's definitely the greatest masterpiece out of all Stephen King-based films. Cujo. That's what they're talking about. I accidentally skipped it.
Oh, I
Because
see.
if we're not going to talk about 1980s films, what are we playing? Deadly Premonition. Now that I think about it, 1983 was probably the year that Stephen King-based film Pandemic truly began. Cujo, followed by The Dead Zone, followed by Christine. Maybe this is a chance to overcome the fear that film instilled us in all.
I think some of my favorite Sanrio characters are Cinema Roll and Caropi, and the little twin stars, Lala and Kiki. My Melody
My
and
melody's
Kuromi
good.
are
My
nice.
melody's good.
If somebody's rocking their aesthetic with My Melody, they're either the sweetest person you know, or they're the hardest goth you'll ever meet.
Isn't there a goth My Melody? I can't remember what its name is.
Yeah, it's Kuromi.
Kuromi, that's it.
But both types of people will have both. They go
Both.
together.
Yes, they do go together.
You'll see goths with My Melody, and you'll see pastel pastel fans of Kuromi. You cannot separate.
You cannot. Quick question to Zach in the chat with his DM tag. Where have you peeped the new Dragon book? If you can hear me. He might have dipped.
Washimi and Gori?
They're from Agaretsuko. They're the
Oh, yeah.
the ape and the gorilla and the hawk. I love them. I love Agaretsuko. Agaretsuko's really good. It's weirdly it's so relatable.
Bean the Bean? A group of American football-playing Sanrio characters.
I've heard of them. Yeah, it's really cool. It's pretty interesting that Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is finally getting its first dragon expansion in like the 6 years it's been out. But they're gemstone dragons. That's what the main focus on. The gemstone dragons are like psionic dragons. So that's pretty neat. But they're also going to delve deeper into the lore of the chromatic and metallic dragons, which is fun.
Bogo the City Boy is a character from the Japanese company Sanrio, who is probably a gorilla. Probably. I love this. We should just have a stream that's just looking through all the different Sanrio characters.
That'd be fun. What would we? Where would we tag it under? Just chatting, or would we find a specific Sanrio Twitch stream?
I think we'd fraudulently put it under something else entirely.
Zach, I gotta ask, did you expect them to
Under,
do
like-
anything against the blue dragon at level 1? But yes. What would we fraudulently put it under? Apex? We are playing...
How about, like, what is it, like, what's that, how about, like, Knockout City?
God, I love
That's
Knockout
new
City. That
enough.
game was so much fun.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Jesus. That or, like, some dead game, like Darwin Project or something like that.
A dragon-based, scientific MMO. Oh my god, I've missed so many times.
Yeah. A dragon-based scientific MMO is not a very good anime, but a lot of people like it.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said a dragon-based scientific MMO is not a good anime, but plenty of people enjoy it.
Do you know about the? I'm sure you do. The dragon anime, the dragon MMO post on Reddit.
Nope.
Oh, you don't? It is like the epitome of just. It was like forever ago, and it was this girl, and she's like, I am making a 100% scientific evolution-based dragon MMO. Ask me anything. And she clearly had no idea, like, the scope of what she was looking at.
Oh yeah,
And
that's sad.
it is sad, and I hope that she stuck with it. But it was just like the biggest clickbaity thing for 2012 Reddit.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I'm glad that you got to give me some of that Reddit history as a little exchange. Now that you've gotten caught up on all your Tumblr ball pits and everything.
I would love to. I am. Dashcon happened when I was 19, and I could have gone to that. What's bad is the second Dashcon was supposed to be in India,
Hmm.
and I would have so gone to it. I don't know if 19-year-old Grant was as into ironic messes of planning as 26-year-old Grant is. I love it when just things are not planned well. Especially like obviously like it sucks ass what happened at Dashcon, and there's some legitimately shitty thing that's happened, but at the same time it's also kind of fun. I'm out of ammo. This is great. I'm so happy.
You hear there's a new FBI agent in town? Yeah, I think I see him. What the fuck? He's just walking backwards, unloading rubber bullets into wolves. Did you know we had this many wolves? No. Well, it won't be that way for long. Guess we'll forget about it soon enough.
Wait, what was that graffito?
To answer Zach, yeah, someone, Sarah Z,
Yeah,
made a
Sarah
video
Z.
covering Dashcon and other things like that.
It was just like a with a child shooting wolves and bees. Yeah, Sarah Zed did a like 2.5-hour documentary style like research project on it, and I mean, I love it. It's just the perfect mess of it's one of those things where you can't fault the people for being inexperienced, but you can absolutely fault them for stealing money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so it sucks that like legitimate children got scammed out of the money they had to go to this terrible thing. And like, I can't remember who. I know Night Vale was supposed to be there, and so was Steam Powered Giraffe, and they just did not get paid, and so they didn't show up because they didn't get paid. That's so wild.
Mm-hmm.
I once went to a convention with like 2,000 people, and it was my first convention ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't bad. It was like specifically a small convention. But I remember being like, wow, this is so exciting. The artist alley was like literally in the hallway of one of the hotels. And I'm like, this is great. I love conventions.
Yeah. And now they've gone to the
Biggest
big
one.
one.
The biggest one in the Midwest, yeah.
Yeah. Part of me misses it and part of me doesn't.
I mostly miss it. I don't miss the planning and the getting there and the hotel stay, but I miss the convention experience. Also, I miss Groove Coaster. I love Groove Coaster. I wish I had a Groove Coaster machine. It's super wild. It's wild to me that there isn't like a Groove Coaster online with a peripheral, right, where you can buy the like a controller.
Yeah. Well, I think our last hope for any of that was out of Harmonix, and they couldn't get anything off the ground, and so everything just
Because like
collapsed. That whole industry of music-based, like instrument-based games, just like seemingly like been dusted. It's too much of an investment for anybody to even consider going back at it.
you can flip your gun.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where that's why I feel like Groove Coaster might be able to do it, because I know it has like a pretty big following.
That's true. It's already an established thing.
But at the same time, they probably also make butt tons of money from the arcade machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not popular in the West.
In general, I think just whenever I'm at being at a conventions arcade, especially with like free play, just makes me lament the fact that arcades aren't a bigger thing.
It's so much fun.
Mhm. Obviously, pandemic stuff gets in the way.
Right.
But that aside, like, um, I dream for a day in which games are liberated from capital in their development, production, and release. That you just put something out there and everyone can enjoy it if you want to.
Man, I love thinking of these utopias and then realizing how hard they will be to get. But maybe one day when I'm long in
Yeah.
bed and a ghost. All right, Brantley, you gotta haunt one place. What do you haunt? You're dead. You died. Game over.
Oh.
But now you're a specter, a ghost. Where do you haunt?
Probably. Do I only get one place and I'm locked there forever?
To haunt. You can go to other places, but you can't haunt it.
Then I'd probably just follow my friends around.
Well, we're all ghosts too. We're all haunting different places. We can meet up.
We all died?
Yeah, it's like 200 years in the future. We're just haunting
Ugh.
places now.
Okay.
I'm the only one living because I'm immortal, but that's
Sure.
We still
That's
can
normal,
like
yeah.
we can still hang out, right? We're not.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I think I need just like. Well, in that case, this is to establish that my haunting ground is kind of like my home base, right?
Yeah, and it's also the place where you give people the scaries.
Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were.
I would say somewhere like in
busted
Disney
up
World,
ongoing maintenance.
That's a good one.
but I don't want to scare kids.
But you can scare Disney adults. You can only appear
That's
to
true.
Disney adults and make them
Yeah.
cry more.
Do you think Patty crouches down,
I was
or
gonna.
just
I
like,
was just actually gonna.
or
test
just kind
that.
of like bends backwards and limbos under?
Or she just. I'm gonna guess. My guess
Teleport.
is she phases through it.
Yeah.
She teleports.
Yep. No sleep stories.
No Sleep
Just
Stories are either incredible. I've read some really good ones too, but I also like the ones that are like, "Do not go to Disney World, Part 92." Okay. Disney has a lot of creepy stuff, like just because it's fake, right? And built on a swamp.
Do not go to Aladdin's carpet ride after park closing. Goofy will wait from the shadows and attempt to axe kick you from above. Real. Do not attempt. It's flared with spoiler.
I once watched a guy get fired from working at Disney because he was drinking all the water,
Oof.
like from the
We always
fountains.
strive to provide
Yeah.
our guests with the finest of service.
You mean like
Our
the,
humble, bucolic
assumedly
does
the
have its
not the
inconveniences.
drinkable
Shopping
water
in particular
fountains.
can
Yeah,
be
he just
like,
like took
a
a
slog.
he did a TikTok and it's like testing all of the water fountains, testing all the water places in Disney.
Therefore,
And
we
like I don't know if
decided to
he
provide
probably
a
didn't do it
modest
while he was
selection of
supposed to be
daily
working. And like
necessities
who
right
cares?
here
Fuck
at
the
our
mouse.
very
But
own front desk.
Great.
also
Exactly.
don't go drinking water and posting it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I like that he has bullets.
Well, when big challenges await around the corner, everyone's got to be prepared.
They are
So,
rubber bullets.
they do sell bullets in this town, despite the fact that no one has been murdered here in forever.
They're rubber bullets.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I always forget that.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some of the stuff that we can get.
Cold be gone.
We have the sleeping bag.
Got a lint roller. Wait,
You
so
can
does
be
that mean you
Stinky
can
Agent.
become Stinky
You
Agent?
can become Stinky Agent. I hope so.
Please don't hesitate to let
You might
me
need to be
know if
careful
I
though,
asked you
because if that
just
starts
by all
losing you
means,
money,
please
then
Do you run this
you might have a hard
entire
time
hotel all
staying
on
at the
your own?
hotel.
I mean, just the three of you?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
So you, or the three of you, own the entire place?
Oh, heavens no, sir. The chef, the bellboy, and myself are all mere employees of this fine hotel.
So the Clarksons own this place, too?
Stinky sleeping outside will make you Stinky Agent faster. Thank you, Willem. That is good information.
Not quite, sir. This hotel opened its doors
Gotta get
long
Stinky.
before the Clarksons came to prominence.
Impressive. No wonder this building has such a dignified
We're
air
learning
to it.
lore.
Indeed. This is probably the only building in all of Lucari that has managed to retain its original appearance.
So who's the owner? I simply must know the name of the person who had the fortune and sense to come into possession of such
It's
fine
gotta be
building.
David Jawara. Like, it has to be him as a different person.
I'd be
The owner of
disappointed if
this
it wasn't.
hotel is none other than
Yes!
David Jawara.
I'm so happy.
Zach, that's the fourth David. It all makes sense now. It'd be stranger if only the owner was a completely different person. I sincerely hope
We
I
have
get
an
a chance
abundance
to
of
meet him
Davids.
during my stay here.
I hope to God that at the end it is revealed that they are all actually separate people.
That would be fantastic.
I may, Mr. Morgan, sir. I don't think that's such a good idea.
I hope that the game ends with a dance sequence and that all of the Davids are there.
I like the idea of doing a dance sequence in this game.
Unfortunately,
Another
I
tip
own a
hot
less
in from
efficient
chat.
personality
Willem.
problem.
Fiddle around in dumpsters and we'll get stinky faster.
The three of us here describe him as having a fractured mind.
David Battle Royale. Oh, that's a great idea. Grant, next time you and a bunch of other people are doing something online in a party, you should all name yourselves David Jawara and different parentheticals to follow.
I'd love that.
You know, just have a, whatever, like a 5 or 6 stack of David Jawaras.
A lot of the games we play, you can't just change your name. People
That's
don't,
true.
You don't like that
And I
anymore.
guess, yeah. Yeah. I assume it's to keep down toxicity and also to prevent identity fraud of those who want to pretend to be David Jawara when in reality they could never be the real.
Specifically, David Jawara.
Mhm. It doesn't matter if you want to be, you can't. He's already real.
Speaking of fun games, Splitgate, good game. I'm surprised that it's made by such a small team.
Mhm. Has it been pretty successful so far? Lots of players?
So it actually came out in 2019 on PC,
Mhm.
and it had almost no following. But recently, it's seen a resurgence, and they are at a point. So since it's a small team, their servers can only hold about 100,000 players.
Mhm.
If you want to play that game, you have to wait in queue for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's really good for them.
Yeah.
But that also
Sounds like that's one of the plans. Keep your game running. Like Lawbreakers kind of opened with like a flop as well, but they couldn't stick around. The company went down.
well, and like
We've got cases like this and Among Us where game comes out, hang in there as best as you can, and maybe you find your time.
yeah, and like you fill that niche, but you gotta wait until someone discovers your niche. And because as far as I know, Splitgate did not put any money into advertisement, right?
Right.
So for them to get big, they needed to be seen by a streamer, essentially, and they did. And then once that happened, it just took off, and it really is like it's Halo. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and pretend that it doesn't feel and play like Halo, but the added effect of portals and the kind of goofy nature of it makes it worth it. I think that game is really good.
Yeah, I think we're beyond a time in which people will fight over the novelty of something and insist that something needs to be original.
Yeah, and
I think we've all become far more accepting it. Like, hey, if this thing fills my interests, I will play it.
well, and it's like, hey, what if Halo had portals? And you're like, cool. I do wish the portals played a bigger part in it. I was hoping it would be Portal with guns and not Halo with portals, but it still feels good. And I feel with Halo being the way it is right now, where all of them are online, it's kind of interesting where it's which one do I want. Like, I like Halo Reach a lot, right? I like Halo Reach's gameplay the best. But Halo 3's maps are incredible. But I don't know if I were to play Halo, which one I'd want to play.
Right.
But with this game, I don't need to care. I just want to use the DMR in Halo 3. That's all I want. The DMR is better than the battle rifle. Oh my goodness, they're all special use.
Well, and that's the thing is like that is where we're at in game production right now. We have that like granular detail of like, I want to play a game that is Halo 3's DMR, and someone has made it, or they want to make it, and they'd be happy to make it.
Yeah,
you know.
And Splitgate has a carbine that plays like Halo Reach's DMR, and I get to shoot people in the head, and they die instantly. And honestly, do you remember when we played Unreal Tournament 2004 and we did the railgun map where it was one-shot kill and it was just a straightaway?
Do you mean the Two Towers map?
Yeah.
That in like Unreal 1?
Yes.
1999? Yeah, I remember that.
We played that for so long. And I remember that being such an interesting night because the person who was the best at it changed constantly because we were all learning it. And at one point, Ryan was unkillable. And that's the thing about first-person shooters is it's got to have that feel. And I think Splitgate's doing pretty good, especially with how Titanfall's being treated and Call of Duty's being treated. I can see Splitgate getting pretty big. I mean, it is pretty big now, but it doesn't feel like a game that's just hitting the streamer game of the month.
Yeah.
What game do you have a longing to play? And you can't say Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
I don't have a longing to play Billy and the Hatcher and the Giant Egg so much as it is like a deeply uncomfortable itch that is more about why is my body fucking with me like this rather than I really, really want to scratch the itch. Game that I want to play. That's a good question. I kind of cooled off on that. I was thinking about how I haven't played Smash Bros in a long time. But it's not like I'm like waking up and thinking like, oh, I gotta play it. I used this summer to knock out a lot of the games that I was kind of waiting to get around to.
Like Gurumon.
Gurumon came out of nowhere. I was in the process of looking up game music to play during labs, and I was going through music for Falcon games, and a lot of those are like the East RPGs, which I've never played, and I'm not a super big fan of like what's going on there from the outset. You know, maybe I'd like them if I played them, but I didn't really know. So, but I was looking through the music anyways, and I see something that sticks out, and it's Gudamine, and I'm like, what the heck is this? This doesn't look anything else like, you know, what they have in their catalog. And the music was odd and upbeat, and it's just weird. And so then I went and looked up the game, and it's like, oh, it's a PSP game, and oh, it got booted onto Steam, and so then it's like, wow, it's cheap, okay, and A sale came around for like $10 and I bought it. And that's that.
The game just is so cute. Everything about that game is charming. The gameplay might be not great, but
yeah. I have a few complaints about it. Like they have like a character in town who tries to ask out your character on a date, and he's an adult, and you're like somewhere in the range of like 10 to 12, I think. It's like fucking come on. There's also something weird whenever you go to like a heal spot during a level, and you use it. It'll like cover you in a beam of light, but it'll also like take off your clothes. So you can't see very well, but you can tell that they definitely remove that. And it's like, fucking why? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
This character is a child, and that makes this worse.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know, it bothers me, because it escapes with an E10 rating, despite that. It's just unnecessary. You know, it really doesn't need to be there. It makes it difficult then to recommend, which sucks because otherwise it's an interesting little niche of a game.
Let's see if I can drop this gator off.
Yeah. Did you finish the wolves?
I killed all the wolves. They're all dead.
Congratulations. Let's see. Other games that I'm like itching to play. I have an on and off thing with the Mega Man Zero games, where when I think I remember them more fondly than I actually enjoy playing them these days. They have really tight controls, and you know, like I think that wins out over their own level designs. Like level designs, I don't think are anything to write home about, but the action feels really tight. Especially when you get the hang of it and you've died a bunch of times and kind of sink into the rhythm. But boy, those games are mean. Especially the way they... no swimming. The way the Mega Man Zero games handle upgrades is essentially on a... it is a positive feedback loop, which means the better you do, the better items you get. So major upgrades like, hey, you can get a double jump, or you get this special thing that allows you to, I'm gonna make one up, like your invincibility is longer after you take damage, whatever it might be. The way that you get those is by completing a stage with a really high rank. But if you die and get game overs, that lowers your rank. So what ends up happening is, if you want to, say, get the upgrades that make the game easier, you actually have to either already be good at the game, or you have to die, reset the game, and then play again without getting that game over. So, like, you're constantly restarting stages from the very beginning, and you're just basically adding to the amount of time that you're playing. It's not fun.
No, that doesn't sound
like
fun.
Essentially, you can just brute force it and like get better at it, and usually get by. But they're already very tough games, so it's kind of spirit breaking to be at the beginning when you don't have when you're trying to keep your rank up for those really good items later.
Yeah.
Because once you start losing it, it's hard to get it back.
What do you think is the... Because there's some games that I like because they're a challenge, but there are some games that are just, like, downright mean.
Yeah.
And, like, not in a good way. Like, the unfair platformers, like Cat Mario and stuff, are fine. Where it's like, this game is supposed to be mean. But there are games, like an I, right? We've been playing I, the Somnium Files. And it's those puzzles are like, if you mess up once, get fucked. That part, that kind of makes me upset. Yeah,
it's odd that they go with that. I know that they wanted to give the puzzles like some sense of stakes, but it has like no impact in the end, because the result of you failing is just going and trying more options. and brute forcing things and skipping past stuff, right?
Yeah.
It just diminishes experience. And they pad it with so many like really useless interactions that aren't funny and aren't interesting, that you just essentially end up power gaming it. It's like, why not give us the ability to just restart from the beginning of a somnium anytime, rather than requiring you to fail 3 times to go all the way back. It's weird,
and
especially because if you say like fail early or whatever, then ideally you would be able to reset then, but that's not how the game works. I don't know. It's poor planning, and it's more interested in giving you like a punishment to the player than it is with actually being honest about what the gameplay provides.
Well, especially when sometimes doing the wrong thing gives you more character. Like
Yeah.
in the one Somnia where you play as Mizuki, and you look at the Adder Rabbit, and you hug him or you try and
Zach, it
throw him.
appears to be closed. Let's come
Right.
back during business hours.
Exactly. And
And
so
it's
the
like-
game punishes you for exploring.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
if you do the right one, Mizuki doesn't explain why she likes Adder Rabbit. Instead, you get a pretty short experience. But if you do the rest of it, you see that she really likes the gift, and it makes it more charming. But you missed it. And I guess that's to pad out the game experience. But
This is the deep sound.
it's
I feel it every time that molten hot.
It's strange coming from a game that is otherwise a visual novel that wants you to click everything,
yes.
no matter how boring that object might be. Sometimes the chair will have a joke attached to it. Sometimes it won't.
Sometimes nothing has jokes attached to it, but you can't tell unless you start clicking everything.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a very consistent like pathos they have behind their design decisions. Let's see, other games that are unintentionally difficult. Like maybe our favorite unintentionally difficult game is Super Mario Sunshine.
Yes, absolutely.
That game. Whew. I loved finding out. Oh, good job, Grant. You need to pay that man $6 for ramming his shin with your skateboard. Hey, Gramps, I'm gonna whip your ankles out with my Razor scooter. Check this. Sorry about that. Here's $5. Later.
Hey, did you know there's like a skateboard style game where you do have a Razor scooter and you can fight monsters with it?
I didn't, but now I do.
I don't remember what it's called. I remember going to like. It was really weird because it was one of those guys that you like hung out with at school, but not at home. Not like friend. Like you didn't go to their house.
Right.
And I went to his house, and it was a little awkward and uncomfortable for a little bit. But of course, you know, you get used to it, and I'm sociable. And we played this game where you. Is this just a real dog? High quality feed. Medium
Why is that
quality.
fence not closed in all the way? What's
Oh.
the point of the fence then?
Let me.
Everybody, there's a federal agent coming to town. Please remove the
That
sides
time,
of your
you must-
fences so that he may pass through at will.
Yeah, it's Super Mario Sunshine, unintentional difficulty.
Yeah. There's so many things in that game that really should work better than they do. It's oddly not polished for a Nintendo game. Like, there's plenty of polish, but it's not always in the places where you'd expect it. I love the tidbit that the rope bridge to Pianta Village has
That
collision
time, you need to
separated in
put
such a
some-
way where if you're not careful, you could just accidentally jump through between the floorboards and just fall to your death.
Which I have done. I'm really glad that... What time do I need to be here? 22:30 to 6 minutes. Oh. Shit. Everything is closed, too.
Oh, here's another one from a recent game that I feel like the reward and punishment system is a little off. The missions in Guilty Gear Strive. where they require you to get 3 out of 5 attempts right. I do like that idea where you have to like consecutive. Patty? Yeah.
He's gonna fall.
All right, don't do anything rash. Okay, I'll find something you can jump down to, so you don't go all the way. That's high up. Don't Patty.
This guy makes skateboards.
10-year-olds are invincible.
It's true.
Looks like a case of bad timing, Zach.
What frustrates me about it is that
Let's come back.
if you let's say that you're doing one of the missions in Guilty Gear Strive, and you mess up 3 times. Even if you get the last 2 on the dot and you nail it, then you cannot you can't recover. Like you still can't get 3 out of 5 you need. But the game doesn't automatically reset you, so you just have to reset yourself anyways. So I don't understand why they don't just automatically reset after you've missed 3 attempts, and instead, like, they just let you keep going with it.
It's also weird that they're like, do three attempts out of 5. Guilty Gear Strive loves doing that though. Now that I think about it, it's like, think of like.
I guess they want to be. It's like, hey, you won't always get it right in a row, so here's a bit of leniency. But then they might as well only track that it's like, you know, the counter only starts going up per success, rather than them starting counting your failures. Weird little quirks like that tend to be all around the design of that game.
Don't mind me, Zach. This is how I whip myself up.
Did you have another one in mind?
Unintentional difficulty. I don't know, but the most perfect difficult game I think is Shovel Knight. I think that game does a good job at being bonkers difficult, but in a fair and rewarding way.
Yeah, I'd agree there.
I love that game. I haven't played it for a while. I haven't even beaten, like, I think I beat Plague Knight, but I didn't beat Spectre Knight or King Knight.
They're both very good. It's odd. I like all of them. I like all of the campaigns of Shovel Knight, but I think Plague Knight shockingly came out on top for me.
The movement is just fun.
Yeah, there's just the rhythm of it, of just like basically getting your screw attacks, it's like you know, flying through the air, is really nice. I also really like King Knight. King Knight's campaign is like on par or close second to Plague Knight. I thought it was over-designed at first just by looking at it, because the whole idea is that you do a shoulder bash as your main attack, and once you do the shoulder bash, you go into like a jump spin, which then allows you to hit enemies from above, the same way that Shovel Knight can poke down on enemies with a shovel, and then you can essentially bounce off of enemies with it. So you always have to do that with the shoulder bash first. I was like, oh, that sounds weird. Like, I don't know why that's necessary. But it ends up being a really interesting mechanism.
Sorry, never mind. I think I was just seeing things.
How long do you get to keep Patty out?
I think you just always have her.
Does Patty also just decide not to sleep then?
I guess.
York's gonna be a bad influence.
York is a bad influence. So at least this is a good way to make money, is you just make money by traveling.
Yeah, you just made 250 smackers right there.
I like that none of the NPCs in this game do anything but just stand there. There's just something like great about how, because there weren't really that many NPCs in Deadly Premonition 1 that weren't inside.
Yeah.
I just like that they're like, we're gonna stand outside.
Okay, here's a question. Lately I've been catching up on
Boss, please,
Disco Elysium. And that's a game about playing a cop who's amnesiac and very much on the wild side. What do you think would happen if the detective of Disco Elysium met with the one and only Francis York Morgan? What would that turn out like?
So, is Francis York Morgan in Ravenfold, or is
Very good, sir. Please,
Harry in
come
the
right
real
this
world?
way.
You get to choose.
So I think if Harry came to the real world, shit would be really fucked. Like, you gotta like think about how like.
That is true. There's a lot in Disco Elysium that's not normalized. Per what we have, like our capitalistic society differs a great deal from how things operate in Revachol. So
That's it. Yeah, but like disco still exists. Our technology's better. I think Harry wouldn't be able to adapt to that. I think Harry would.
yeah,
freak out.
are there movies in Revachol?
Not that I know of.
There's not a lot of imaging technology. They have like pinball machines and
cameras.
like rudimentary computers of some kind, but yeah, they've got cameras. But I haven't personally seen any like not many monitors.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everything's pretty. I think everything in Revenshall is pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Tactile.
Mm-hmm.
I
love that they're theorizing about the existence of a tape, a tape computer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell would that look like?
Right. It's very much an analog. It's like analog punk, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think York would appreciate it, and I think Harry would not appreciate our world. York would be mad that there's no movies, but he would also be interested in the idea of a place where there's no movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that York and Harry would not get along. At first.
Yeah.
So like Harry's very non by the book for the most part. Even when you do good cop, he's still not by the book, right?
Right.
York is very by the book at a glance, but at the same time is just also completely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would take a while, but as we know, Harry has a habit of rubbing off on people and getting them to like him. He has a weird charm to him, and so does York, though.
Here's an idea. You take York and you put him in Disco Elysium as an NPC.
Oh, that would be super fun. Because I think you would have conversations where York would be like, Zach, I can't believe it. There are no movies here. And you would be like...
And then rhetoric picks up and it's like, who is Zach? And drama's like, oh, I get what's going on.
And I would
like,
love to... Right. And I feel like it would be them both trying to shock
psyche each other.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, Zach, this man, every part of him is a different personality.
There are subtle shifts in the way he behaves.
Inland Empire's like, this man is not from our world. Ask him questions. We should do a Disco Elysium stream eventually.
I think it would be another long one.
It would.
We'd have to give some time after this game, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Or, we can just stream every night forever and...
No. We will not have the ability to do that. Not if we also want to watch and review anime.
Yeah, no, I was joking.
Okay. You never know.
I do know when I'm joking. You don't.
Do you do? I don't, yeah.
I need to stop at 22, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Alright, I should be able to place... Oh, okay, there we go. Night has fallen, so Patricia went home. So
there you
Patty goes home at night.
Patty went home to her sand canyon.
Yes. Perfect.
Oh, my dear lost lamb. What are you doing there?
Oh, this? This is all part of the Lise Clarkson murder investigation.
Something important, hmm?
Oh, yes. Very important. I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
I love that line so much.
But
It's so
what should I call
stupid.
you?
I'm Tyrone Sanders, pastor of the Lucare Evangelical Church.
Oh, God, I love it.
And what business does a pastor like yourself
I kind of
in a
wish
place
that
like
his
this?
ID had his portrait from the first game.
Well,
I know it
I
chronologically
live over
wouldn't make
across the
sense,
way
but I
there.
think it'd be funny.
Do you have an
All
intimate
the same.
relationship with Mrs. Carpenter?
Because, like, you know how it's like, oh, my driver's license photo
Why
is
in the
never a
world
good
would you
photo.
suggest such a
So it's just
pitiful
him
thing?
rendered in, like,
Lordy, Lord.
Xbox 360
How could
level
I ever
fidelity
become intimate with
PS3.
one who is so devoid of faith? After she lost her husband, she stopped coming to church. All she does all day is bowl. She even pruned the shrubbery in that pitiful fashion. Yes, truly pitiful.
You know, I was wondering about that.
And did you see that hideous ox of a dog he owns? Pitiful with a capital P.
What the fuck?
I
This guy-
tried speaking with her, but she shows no intention of changing her ways. Yes, I fear she never lends an ear when the good Lord reaches out to her.
I love this game
Indeed,
so much.
I pity her from the
God
bottom
cannot
of my
strike
heart.
fear into this bowling lady.
Only.
So you've been spying on her out of pity?
Spying? I'm merely awaiting the chance to lend
game
her
did
a
come out
helping
last year.
hand.
Mm-hmm.
You best be careful, too. This town harbors much more danger
How
than
long was it in
you're aware
development,
of.
do you know?
If you ever find yourself
Personally,
in
I
need of
don't off the top of my
salvation,
head.
feel free to stop
I can see
by
if I
our
can
church
look.
whenever you like. Our church also functions as
To
a blessing,
Wikipedia we
so
go.
someday you may need our help.
Zach, did you hear that? Pitiful. Try saying
Not long
that to
enough.
someone in the city.
Dude,
They'd
what?
instantly slap you with slander or defamation charges. You'd be up to your neck in court papers. I doubt I'll tire of this town anytime soon.
I know I'm not.
We should consider stopping by that church whenever we get a chance.
We did it. We put the alligator. Now let's go to sleep. I love how calm the quest updates are.
I don't see anything right off the bat about how long it was developed. But, let's see. And we can do a little bit of sleuthing. Or at least get us a range, so.
No, it came out in 2020.
Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that.
What else was Swery working on? When did D4 come out?
Is D4 the...
Dark Dreams Don't Die. I think it's also Swery.
Zach, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one.
2014? I mean, I'm just gonna... Just eyeballing it, I'm gonna say this is like a 3 or 4 year game.
Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that.
I think this game was made in 6 days. 7 days, because that's how long it took God to make the Earth.
It was made in 65 days. That's why he call him Swery 65.
He makes... Has Swery 65 ever made a game that was widely accepted as, like, good?
Yeah, I think so. People liked Dark Dreams Don't Die fairly well. The Missing of J.J. Macfield, I think, also generally was favorable.
Very good, please. Serving you is please do.
Okay, the missing J.J. Macfield and the Island of Memories. Generally got decent scores, like 70 and up.
Well, that's good. Did he ever work on a game with Suda51?
I think they're working on one now.
Is it just because they both have names with
numbers in them? Yeah. Suda51, Swery, 65. Game. Let's see. Supposedly, as of January 3rd last year, The Gamer published that collaboration between the two of them might drop this year.
Tiring to have to live out
I
of
hope
hotel
so.
rooms day
I can't
after
imagine
day.
what that game would
Nothing
be.
beats getting a good night's sleep
Yeah.
in your own.
I think it's called Hotel Barcelona, I suppose. Let's see if I can find you more on it. Here's a fun fact. Suda51 is named that because his name is Goichi Suda. Go meaning 5, Ichi meaning 1.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. God damn it, I looked up Hotel Barcelona and so I just get locations. Like actual places. Okay, game.
I gotta eat.
Let's see. Tech and Club, as of last month, July 8th, 2021, apparently still in development.
That's a good sign or a bad sign?
A good sign that it's not canceled. But I'm assuming it's going slowly.
You think that they try and out weird each other?
I don't know. There was an article from PC Games in titled "Developer has quote never heard unquote of the game it's publishing for Suda51 and Swery."
That's so perfect.
I really want to work through the Suda51 games. So I have the silver case and I've started it, but I haven't really gotten anywhere in it. I have
notable
played
Suda51 games good?
I mean, No More Heroes.
No More Heroes, I know that.
Yeah. Killer is Dead. That's one that I've got hold-ups on, but like I definitely had some fun with it.
That's
from
the
what I
one
did
with
play.
the Yui voice actor, right?
I
What's
think
her
so.
name? Sarah Shea.
I think she might be in it. Stephanie Shea.
Stephanie Shea, that's it.
Yeah. Let's see. Killer 7, I've got that loaded up. But like I've seen some places where it's like there is like a lineage between the games. And I don't know if that means I should really do them chronologically, or if I just say skip to Killer 7 one of these days.
Is Killer 7 like the comic book style shoot 'em up?
Yeah.
I played that one time. It was good. And didn't they remake it and it was terrible?
I heard there was a bad port out there somewhere, but I don't know. I think one of the PC ports was bad, but I don't know which and where.
Man, I can't believe that it has taken us almost 2 hours to do this fucking quest.
Are you going to perform Granny Takedown?
If you never call it that again.
That's the newest Mountain Dew flavor. You remember when they had open voting for the next flavor of Mountain Dew, and like 5 out of the top spots were some variation on Gushing Granny.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Not a highlight of humanity.
Or a highlight. It depends. They did get to dunk on
Oh my
corporate,
lord, y'all are back?
which is good. But it
Listen,
also
y'all
basically
ain't
told
gonna
everyone
believe this.
that you can't trust open voting, which is bad.
What's wrong?
Mrs. Carpenter hasn't come in. For the first
Somebody
time
thought
in
long and
10
hard about
years.
a really
What
cool
could it
name
be? I just hope
that
ain't
went
nothing
nowhere
bad
because
happened
there
to
wasn't an organized push
She's
for it.
fine. You have my guarantee.
her. Oh my lord. I reckon if an FBI agent like you is convinced, then I should be too.
Alright, which Mountain Dew flavor do you think is most likely to kill?
What was that one that we had on Halloween that tasted like Skittles?
Oh, was it mystery flavor?
What did I tell
Yeah,
you?
I think so.
Value is a relative thing.
Or it could have been. I mean, like, Baja Blast probably kills the most, but it's probably not the most likely to kill. It's just, it's like.
It's just
how-
that it's the most frequent and therefore.
We needed to find that figurine,
It's
like-
no matter the cost.
dogs kill more people than alligators, right? But it's not
Mhm.
necessarily because dogs are more dangerous than alligators. It's just that people spend more time around dogs than they do alligators.
Right.
So that's
right.
that's why Baja Blast has the highest kill count, but mystery flavor definitely has the highest kill percentage. I bet this bowling game is gonna be very good.
You really
finally
wanted
get her
to
off of
roll
it?
that bad? They don't have bowling alleys in the city no more?
Wrong, Patty. I have absolutely no interest in bowling. Tossing a heavy ball at lined up pins? Where's the fun in that?
Taco Bell, yes.
You can't even call this a sport. It's a game for cavemen.
Francis York Morgan. Ugh. Alright. This is not on my computer. I need to send that to Ryan.
Nonsense. Utter nonsense.
Then can I throw the ball instead?
Absolutely not, Patty. This is part of the
This
investigation.
poor girl just wants to have a good time, and York's like, no, child. I am the one that is going to have a good time.
I need
You
to do
can't
this
have your
myself.
Sunday. You
How
can't play
stupid it
bowling.
may be.
We're just
You're
a.
the one who's stupid.
Imagine you're like, I want to hang out with the federal agent, and he's like, yeah, sure.
Sure looks like you're having
But-
fun to me.
You can't do anything fun.
Get a strike. Oh my god, you can pick the bowling ball bat. Why? I feel like York would pick the lighter one, and Patty would be like, "You're using the kid's ball," and he's like, "Patty, listen, the smaller ball allows me to throw it with much more larger amounts of force. Just because it's lighter doesn't mean that the velocity that I push it with is less."
There's something satisfying about the tightness of the grip. The feeling that perhaps it was made for you.
Oh god, this is really
Don't you think so, Patty? Failure. Fair enough.
This is
See, this is good. You just get to go and go and go.
there. It is. Awesome.
Wow. Second try?
You know what they
Awesome.
say.
Annihilation.
Looks like I finally earned myself a rival.
That was just a stroke of luck.
Her
Mrs.
hair's
Carpenter.
cauliflower.
Despite how I may seem, I've never been any good at any of the ball-based sports that exist here on our planet.
What? That implies that York Morgan is good at a ball-based sport that exists
On
on another planet.
Oh no, you can't fool me.
Ugh.
I can tell the FBI's giving you very.
Can you imagine
special
being
training.
Patty and you go back to school
If I gave you a
and
few
she's like,
lessons
I got to
on
hang out
top
with an
of that,
FBI agent. They're like,
I'm
whoa,
sure you'd
really?
be
What'd you
a
do? And he's like,
semi-pro.
fucking nothing at all.
Neptune's greatest baseball. The higher density of the gravitational force makes him that much stronger.
Semi-pro?
That's right. That's what I said.
Not pro, but semi-pro.
Francis York Morgan could be a Cowboy
Yes,
Bebop
semi-pro.
one-off episode character.
Could.
Never be able to go pro. You don't have what it takes.
You know, he would.
could
I think he would
become a
fall in the same
semi-pro
zone as
if you
Cowboy
tried
Andy, though.
really hard, though.
No,
Where,
because York
like-
doesn't try.
Well, I guarantee.
But in the same sense that like
Come back
everything
and
goes
see
right for him and it
like you
irritates
try.
everybody else in the main cast.
That's fair.
I'm sure my husband would forgive
God, I
me if
love
made
Cowboy.
Oh yeah, I get to allow bitch into the chat. I feel powerful.
I thought we made it so you can type bitch.
Well, we gotta give young
You can, but this
Shins
wasn't
to
bitch, it was
grow. That's what we always
I
bitch.
could actually go semi-pro?
I take her words with a grain of
I
salt.
saw
about
from
me.
someone's older stream, the word fuck would pass, but if
Patricia,
you said
I
like
can understand why you'd be
fucked
envious
fuck or
of my
something like that,
talents,
then we would not allow it.
but you don't
And
have
they
to.
couldn't even like add it to the
You have
list
your
as
own
like a
unique
permitted
talent,
term.
just like any other person.
Francis York Morgan is just such a terrible, terrible motivational speech. Okay.
You shouldn't have to feel inferior every time you look at me.
You're unbelievable. You sure you don't need to get your
I like
head
to
checked
think
out?
that Twitch just has a
That's so
system in which the
strange.
more vowels you add to a
I
swear
feel
word,
like
the more
I'm
severe it
discovering
becomes.
a new side to myself.
By the way, Mr. Special Agent,
If bitch with no eyes
you
in it
said you're investigating the
is
Leaf
a
Clarkson
harmless
incident.
misspelling of a word, then
In
adding the
that
eye back makes it
case,
dangerous. So if you put lots of eyes in it, then that's a very dangerous swear word.
That poor girl, Lise, she was a druggie.
If you put 50 eyes in that bitch, then you're in the red zone.
And she was into the really bad.
What do you think Mrs. Carpenter thinks the really bad stuff is regarding drugs?
Red powder.
Oh.
Marijuana.
No wonder
The red
FBI
powder.
picked you.
Oh.
You already figured out that much. Well, the reason Lise turned into such a little hoodlum
It's just
is
bone meal.
because of her mother, Galena.
I like that her mom's name is Galena.
Galena.
Galena is a lead-based mineral. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last time too.
Mhm. A mother only in
It's very heavy.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, she's still nothing more than a child.
What, could you make a
herself.
bowling ball out of it?
No, because it's Galena. It'd fucking shatter.
Oh,
Could you,
It's just
could you
heavy.
make a bowling ball out of
fancy
it?
clothes,
I mean, you don't
always
make
out
bowling
on
ball out of
town
rock.
somewhere.
It's like resin. I don't know, with like shit inside.
Children giving birth
I can
to
dream.
children. If these aren't the end times,
Wouldn't you
well,
want to
I
be able to
don't
use
know
a,
what is.
a bowling ball that
And they
like
were always cooped
fragments
up in that jazz ball.
and just like
Galena
takes out a
wasn't
bunch
no
of stuff
proper
with that
parenting if
extra
you
explosive
hit her in the
radius?
tush.
Sounds in the crowd. I also like that they're like, all them whippersnappers be hanging out in that jazz bar with the rootin' and the tootin'.
Zach. The jazz bar. We first heard about it from Patricia.
He's like, I'm right
It
here.
must be deeply connected with this case and the red powder. It must be San Rouge. Following the Oracle and felling the 10 maidens sure paid off, didn't it?
So, Mr. Special Agent, are you all finished here?
Yes, Mrs. Carpenter. Thanks to you, I've gotten a new lead.
Oh. Then how about you mosey on and let me get back to my bowling? I need to bowl my first game of the day or else I'm gonna get rusty. Well, what are you waiting for? Get a move on! Shoo! Shoo!
I used to think bowling was a sin with all the holes and balls until I found the gourd laugh grades me with this rat. Ugh. Beautiful. Bowling has been unlocked.
Hi there, handsome.
Hello, ma'am.
What if
Would you mind if I
what if
used
someone
this
went to the
lady
big
for a
leagues
bit?
by
Oh,
shot
Mr.
putting the
Special
bowling ball?
Agent. After all, you might have what it takes.
I-
Like I know that's not in the
to be pro
rules,
someday.
but
Yes, that's right.
what if we
I
allowed
have
it
the
just
potential
for the
to become a
spectacle?
semi-pro
I
bowler.
wish bowling had less rules. I just wish that there was more penalty. Like you can go further in the lane, but if you lose a point every time. Like you can't go into it. You can't get a strike if you get too close.
Therefore, I'd like
And
to
like
test
if
my
you
mettle
if
on
you
this
get
lane.
up to the pins and
bowling
knock
ball
them all
bit
down,
me,
it still
and it
only counts as
refuses
one,
to
but
let
it does
go.
count as one.
Well then, let's
Granny
see
shot is
what
the
you got.
optimal feature. What would that be in relation to bowling?
range necklace level 3.
Oh.
Here we go.
So do you just have to keep playing?
No, I have points. Bowling.
Okay.
The mode allows
But
you
it said
to
9,000.
What?
I thought on the range necklace level 3 it said 9,000.
I have 9,000 points.
So do you have to get 9,000 points in one game?
Maybe.
Then how are they counting points?
Wrong.
I guess this will be the last thing of the stream.
Yeah, that's why I decided to do it. Because I was like, well, we don't want to start more investigating.
Why would we want to investigate in Deadly Premonition?
Damn it. Come on, York.
You know, it just isn't Tekken bowling.
Does Tekken have bowling?
It does. This is the second time I've told you.
Oh,
Tekken Tag Tournament.
oh
Tekken
yes. Damn it, York.
No, sure, blame it on York. York's not pushing the buttons.
All right.
York is just your flesh puppet.
Let's try the 16-pound ball.
Call up the bowling alley and ask if we've got 16-pound balls.
What?
There's a podcast, Talking Tunes, with I think it's Ron Paulson. Let me double check that.
Not Ron Paul.
Correct.
Good.
Maybe it's Rob Paulson. I always get it wrong. I bet it's Rob. Yeah, Rob Paulson. He voiced Carl Weezer in Jimmy Neutron, and among like 1,000 other cartoon characters. Hey, nice strike. And he has the bit about like, I'll call up Jesus and he'll help me trick people. You know, it's that. And one of them was call up the bowling. I'm not gonna try to replicate the.
I'm sure
Carl
Carl
Weezer.
Weezer is just absolutely incredible.
Nah, it's okay. But anyways,
It's a gutter.
he says he'll call up the bowling alley and ask if they have 16-pound balls. And when they say yes, he say, "How do you walk?" Because haha.
Yes, that's funny.
You call the grocery store and ask if they have Sir Walter Raleigh in a can, and then you let him out. At this point, I'm just repeating other people's jokes.
I mean, isn't that what we do? Just repeat.
Yeah.
We are not funny.
There is no original thought in this world.
That's not true. You remember that Ichijo skit where they go and out in the rain and say domestic violence?
Yeah.
It's fucking funny, right?
Fair.
Hey, guy, apparently I'm pretty good at bowling in this game.
You're doing pretty well. How does this compare to Wii bowling?
I can't throw the ball behind me and make everyone in the
Room spin.
Yeah.
Patty just rotates. Wow.
Fucking York, man. So apparently hitting it as fast and straight as possible is not good. All right, let's see if we can get this.
Yeah, you want to get a little angle on it, I think.
All right, watch this.
Well, you did hit the shit out of that single pin.
When you were a kid, did you ever just think that bowling alleys were fucking magic? Like,
yeah,
of
course.
What went on back there, man?
Uh-huh.
It's still.
I was like, do they hire someone?
They did. I know the entire history of bowling.
I know you do.
They played it in ancient Egypt.
That's cool.
Or at least some sort of bowling.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? Did I talk about the history of ping pong?
I don't think so.
So it was originally called Whiff Waff, and it was played by British nobles on their dining tables.
hate the British.
I hate the British too.
Whiff Waff?
It's such a shitty name.
What a society of clowns.
I mean, did you see their fucking hair?
Yeah. Absurd. Did I ever tell you how I got in trouble for playing freestyle bowling one time at school?
No. Wait, is this is this in middle school where you would take like trips to the bowling alley?
No, this is not. This was in elementary school. We had like an indoor free day type thing where you could just get sports equipment and do what you wanted.
Oh my
And
God,
I was
you have
like,
to play multiple games.
you just have to work your way up. You have to grind, Grant. Are you ready to grind?
Yeah. Let's try the 13.
If it's great, if it's 9,000 points to get that range necklace and 300 is a perfect score, you have to play at minimum 30 games of bowling, Grant.
I'll do it off stream. I mean, or we could do it on stream because it's
No.
funny.
Let's see. I'll clock how long this game takes. We started at about 8:58 Eastern time. Anyways, we had a free day. We could do what we wanted, and like I had how do I put it? Poor relation with sports. Or I just didn't want to play anything like a normal sport because I liked video games. I liked fantasy. I didn't want to bother with like things that other people already knew how to play and were better at than me. I wanted to be my own little victorious man.
I remember one time you invited all of us over to play a rudimentary version of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, my twin brother and I used to basically do like live action roleplay, where we'd basically just come up with bullshit on the spot and give people stats and moves and fake weapons and everything, and sometimes we actually had equipment for it and all that. That was like the basis for our hangout sessions with certain people for like a majority of our young childhood.
It was fun. I remember.
Got us outside, yeah. Anyways, and so like I'm looking at the equipment, and I'm thinking like, what can I play on my own? How do I stimulate my brain in such a way that it doesn't just short circuit on me and leave me dead here at the age of like, I don't know, 8 to 10.
Wait, was this elementary school or middle school?
Yes, elementary school. And so I see that there's like bowling pins, and there's like a very, very bouncy rubber ball, like a little small, like palm-sized one. I was like, oh, how about this? These pins are like pretty heavy, like they're made of like wood or something else. There's like a core in here that makes it pretty dense. So it would obviously be not super easy to knock this down with a little rubber ball. So what if I had to try to, wing it and like ricochet it, and like essentially knock down these heavy pins? I'm basically just kind of like futzing around with like physics at this point, right? I'm like, what size object has this kind of effect on these pins, and how do they interact with each other? And I got to throw the ball a couple times before the gym teacher just said, hey, don't do that. Go put those away. I was like, yeah, this probably isn't a good idea.
Hey, that gym teacher probably taught me how to drive.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see. I think maybe the most I got out of that in terms of like real sports, one time someone taught me some volleyball basics. I was like, this is cool, thanks. And I was like, yeah, sure. I was just like, oh, this is how sports are supposed to go. Because like all I learned as a kid was like, be good at the sport or don't. I never really got the concept that someone was supposed to teach me how to play a sport. Because either like I was too conceited to actually listen to their advice, or I couldn't internalize what they were trying to tell me. I was too anxious to ever like take that advice and implement anything out of it. So when someone my own age would be like, hey, here's how you make this a little easier, I was like, oh my god, it makes sense. This is so much better. And then in middle school, I joined the tennis team, and nobody helped me ever. And my twin and I just never advanced. And we watched everybody else who was more naturally talented in sports than we were just rise the ranks and get their own dedicated lessons on doing uh, like how to spin the ball and shit like that. And we got zilch. They literally split us across like a horizontal section of the courts, and half the kids were getting taught special lessons, and the other half were just told to play games against each other.
All right, how long did that take?
That took about 5 minutes.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll end the stream here while I play one more round of bowling. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you heard, we got a YouTube channel /podcast/ thing we do where we talk about anime and shit. We're actually about to post our newest episode, which is about Megalobox Season 1 and 2. It's pretty much just us praising how good the characters are in that show for like 2 hours. It's a very long episode.
Yep, it is. Processing currently on YouTube, so it'll be available soon.
Yeah, and it's good. It's definitely one of our least critical ones we've done in a while. Check it out. We have a Twitter. I post random bullshit all the time, especially about the Somnium files, because that is my current non-deadly premonition obsession. It's pretty good. Check us out. Or don't, because we are not your dads.